All right, hi guys, it's Ebony again. So I did my Voyant, I guess, experimentation because I opening it to me, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Um, but I wanted to use it on a piece that I do with my advanced kids. So when we are going into a Q3 question for the AP exam, we focus on this short play. And of course, it's thrown into our multi genre piece. So I could see how I could throw in all of the pieces that we use and kind of see the connections throughout them. But those are pretty clear. All of the pieces in a doll's house, and by pieces, I mean like the themes that are covered, whether it's gender roles or certain ideologies, they're covered in the poems that we read and the short stories and the nonfictions. Um, so I wanted to use a dollhouse because we make them answer the Q3 question as a summative assessment. Um, so I kind of wanted to see, is this a tool that I could use in my classroom to kind of show my kids um, how those themes can kind of work together. So, what I found is that I am not a and I don't know if it just comes with like being an English teacher, but I am not a graphs person. So, looking at like the trends, to me like cool. I was like, yeah, it's cool that I can like go here and click like, okay, well, how many times did they use this word? And what about, I don't know, work maybe. Um and so like looking at it, I'm like, okay, cool. I understand it. I get why this is, but I don't see the correlation just by looking at that. I would need to read it and know what they're talking about and kind of analyze it in that way. Um, so what I did is I came over here. I used the intro video that um, our professor gave us, and on there it had a tip on like how to create links. And I feel like this was the most beneficial when it comes to talking about themes, especially when they need them to write a Q3 answer prompt. So I was playing with this a lot. These are the ones that I was kind of looking at first. So the reason I chose this no um, was because in gender roles and really old pieces like this, we kind of see like the men usually assume that women don't know very much. So if you look at this, it says like no, it's connected to little, right? Think, this is a letter that they found. um, and then yes, and it connects to money, which is another issue that is brought up in the play. Um, so of course we know that she's kind of hiding that she got this money from her dad and she got it through forgery. Um, so she's having to talk about all of these, and it even says father, so they're able to kind of picture that. And then work is another big thing because women are not supposed to be working. But she tells her friend that she does. I don't really remember why I put don't now that I'm recording it and I see it. But the good thing is that if this pops up, your kids can kind of make a connection with like why these words are connected. So like why would no and don't be connected is probably because they don't know something. Or you could just take it off. And if that doesn't work, what I learned is you can just like right click it and remove it from here, and it still kind of works the same way. Um, so with that being said, I think that if I'm able to look at this and kind of connect what words are kind of building those themes and building those like the tone and the way that the author is writing about these characters, it's going to help us when we are looking at the context, because I feel like, yeah, I can tell you, hey, this theme is covered in this book and this is how I know, but we have to have context to back us up from the piece, right? So I was playing with this part too where the context is. So I'm going to choose one of my words, which is no. And it'll tell you exactly what they said in relation to that word. So what's to the left of it, what's to the right of it. Um And I feel like this is very beneficial, especially when it comes to my students trying to find their evidence to write in their pieces. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this only because like I said, I'm not a numbers person. I don't like looking at like, oh, how many times did they say this word? Like to me, that's not interesting. To me, it's the interpretation and what's going on in the story. But yeah, so if you guys have any other ideas on how I can implement this in my advanced classes this year, I'd really appreciate the feedback. Thanks, guys.